isn't on. Oh, shoot. Talking with nothing. No one can hear us.
Hi, guys.
All right, well, we're back again. Here we are. Oh, God. Robin's here. Gail's here. Jerry will be back soon. There he is. Noel, myself. We were just talking about the weather. We were just wasting time. But the weather is nice, and you're looking for a thunderstorm.
I want a thunder lightning for a really bad dying for one. A really good thunder and lightning.
I heard rumbles of thunder.
I did too, and I got
ago.
so excited. Like my adrenaline started going. I was like, yeah, then nothing happened.
You're gonna be going. You might see a good one. Those ones down south get good thunderstorms.
They get it every minute.
They're good too. They're different. Yeah.
Lightning capital of the world.
You're gonna feel the. Oh my gosh. You actually feel it. Yeah. Well. All right. We should probably get into this. Let's see who we got here. Kim is here, and real quick before we get into that, stars. If you send us stars, that's $1 gives us 99 stars. If we accumulate enough stars, then Facebook gives us opportunities for advertising. Down here. Yeah, they're chewing over here. We have dogs here too, by the way. Yeah, they're all right. I like them. They're my friend. They always sit with me, kind of on the show day. But anyways, the stars for $1, you give us 99 stars, and 99 cents gives us 100 stars. The stars then help us, if you accumulate enough, get advertising. Other than that, we take the $1 that you would send us, we're putting it back in, and hopefully soon we're going to do that thing we're talking about. To Catch a Predator in Niagara County. Yep, it's coming. To Catch a Predator in Niagara County will be here soon. But no one will know when, so we got to do it in surprise. But I'm telling you, it's coming. All right, why don't we go find our guest now? Last week we talked about him. We played a video. It's his son is the school, and it's Kenmore Tonawanda schools. They are trying to change. Yeah, transgender is the right word. They're trying to change him into a girl, and the ex-wife is.
It started when he was 5,
or even younger. Yeah, yeah, and the ex-wife is leading the charge. But we've got Dennis here. Let's bring him in because he can clear it all up and tell us the whole story. Here he is, Mr. Dennis Hannon. How you doing?
Hey there. Thanks for having me. I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. We're happy to see you. We were just talking a little bit, and let's just start from the beginning, Dennis. When did it all? Tell the story. When did you find out it started?
Yeah. So the catalyst for me when I found out, oh dear, like something's terribly wrong here, was when I got a letter in the mail addressed to the parent or guardian of, followed by a female name. I didn't recognize the name at all. I wasn't familiar with this name. I opened the letter because the address was right, and it was from my son's school. So I opened it, and I was shocked when I saw that they were referring to my son as female pronouns, she, this, her, that, and a name that somebody had assigned to my child that I had they didn't ask for my permission. I was not aware of this name. I don't even know when it started prior to that, because I had found out when I got the letter in the mail. I can only speculate that this started around between 3 to 4, and then it was really affirmed in the social transition in school, started in kindergarten about age 5.
I wanted to, first off, anyone out there that has a question, go to the message board. Any questions, comments, we'll gladly read them. We can ask Dennis anything you like. There's a lot to learn here because it's here, everyone. It's not just something you see on a cable news network. It's here, right. And it's incredible. Kenmore, I mean, it's right here. Let me ask you something. Now, that's your ex-wife who's who started all of it.
Yes.
This is kind of an odd question, but I don't know. Did you ever have any inkling, any idea that this could be going on in your mind, like even before the letter?
That's a great question. I get asked that a lot, actually. There were, looking back, hindsight is 2020. There were little things that stick out in my memory now. Looking back, little things like, when I would get him back from a visitation, maybe he was wearing girl socks, right? Mm-hmm. Something small like that. Those things matter. Or even, during the time of our separation, she was very adamant about addressing him using female pronoun or gender neutral pronouns, excuse me. Which I'm like, why would you even
Yeah.
bother with that? So there's things like that that stick out to me. Whereas in the moment, it didn't mean much. And to be honest with you, I don't think I would want to believe that there was more to it. I think that I would have preferred to stay ignorant to that.
Yeah. And life's going on too. As you'd have, like you said, hindsight, life's just going on.
Yeah.
And boy, I understand a lot of what you're saying. Because it's funny when you look back, and you do see things. Because now as we're talking, I see things that I recall of certain situations. And boy, I wonder why I didn't say anything or do anything, I don't know. Anyways, so now I saw we did your video where you went to the Board of Education. How did that end up going? Like we saw the video, but how did they react to you afterwards?
Yeah, so there were two. I went to the board the first time, probably about a year ago, actually, maybe about a year ago to the day, just about. And that one, I think it caught him by surprise a little bit. I did speak with the superintendent prior to try to come to some kind of middle ground. Like, look, what are the policies in place about this, right? I need to know more about this. Like, how do you approach a situation where you have one parent that says the child might be experiencing gender dysphoria? What is the protocol for that? Do you notify all the parents? Do you just go along with it? Do you just change, like, how do you change the name, right? Like, how do you mail somebody something with a name other than their birth name on it? How does that procedure look like? And I didn't get what I felt to be an honest response. I felt like I was being sandbagged, right? And I've worked in corporate America enough to know when I'm being gaslit about something. So I felt like his answers were more to cover his own butt. And they just were very focused on this idea that what they did was legal in terms of the law, what was applicable by law. Now, just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right. Right. Doesn't mean that that's the best thing for the child. Just because you have the ability to do something doesn't mean that you should do it, right? And that seems to be where his focus was. So I extended an offer to that superintendent. I said, hey, look, if you want to use me as a use case for this so that we can craft better policies around this kind of topic in the future so that it doesn't happen again, I am more than happy to work with you, your district attorneys, anybody, even on a one-to-one basis. Of course, I haven't heard back on that offer. So I went to the school board because I didn't feel confident. And I knew that if I didn't feel confident in his answers, then I couldn't be confident that it wouldn't happen again to another parent.
Right. Yeah. I tell you, did they, any of them themselves, like I remember when I was watching the one, I think you were there about girls sports. It was a second time.
Yeah.
And do any of those people, they showed the whole board and I was looking at them while you were talking. Do they ever come to you and say anything like on their own, like off, nothing?
No, they won't. They won't. I wouldn't expect them to. This is why they're in the position that they're in, because they don't say what they feel. They don't say what they mean. They don't do what they say, right? They're just, they're there, and part of this job is politics, and you have to play the part. And when you have to worry about getting state funding, and where the money is coming from, then a lot of the times they're just going to appease the people that pay them. And it doesn't, they're just going to teach whatever curriculum is thrown at them, and the money is just as green. One thing I will say, though, is that it's very interesting if you compare and contrast the first school board speech that I gave compared to the second. Because in the second, you'll notice they didn't let me face the audience. They didn't let me face the parents. And I believe that was deliberately done so that I couldn't establish eye contact with them. I couldn't develop that kind of personal relationship and speak to them as parents and level with them as parents like I did the last time. You'll notice if you watch that video too, that was live streamed. All those school board meetings are live streamed on YouTube. All of the other speakers, even in the first interview that I gave, we all spoke at the podium. Even in the second one, the guest speakers, they all spoke at the podium. I had to use that mic and face my back towards the parents. And if you look at the live stream, I was censored out. I was censored out on their YouTube live stream with a recess in session message. So thankfully, we had Stacy Sonletter there, who was, there with her phone recording, and we were able to get that footage to you. Because had Stacy not been there, that would have gone unnoticed, and nobody would have ever saw that second school board speech I gave about protecting women in women's sports.
So we're with Dennis Hannon. He's from it's the Kenton School District, right?
Correct.
Right here. No, well.
And I was telling John and everybody a couple weeks ago how I know a school district by us that is allowing a child to use a litter box in the bathroom because the child wants to identify as being a cat or known as a furry or something, and the school's okay with that and letting kid go to the bathroom in a litter box.
Yeah. Where does it end?
Right.
Yeah.
Do any of the other parents, have they contacted you, and anybody like getting angry? Is anybody, or anything like that?
Tons. I get people all over, not just locally, but I get letters all over, emails, but locally, nobody's happy about this. But the issue is we're a silent majority because nobody wants to speak out against it, right? I teach my son to always be accepting and loving of other people's views and beliefs. And now any dissenting view or belief is seen as hate speech, and that's simply not the case. Sometimes you can't have it both ways. Sometimes you can't be nice and right at the same time, and you have to pick. Okay.
Kind of time to be intolerant, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, if this is what they want to shove down your throat, and they want to tell you that, don't believe your lying eyes, and they want to tell you what's best for your kid, and like they know better, then absolutely.
Yeah.
But it should be done carefully. It should be done. You have to be calculated about it, because what they want is they want you to get upset, right? They want you to start swearing and throw your arms up in the air and start calling people names, and then they can say, "Look, he's just a nut job, right-wing extremist," right? And so that they can kind of, demerit you in a way.
Everyone out there's got to put themselves in the shoes of Dennis. I mean, because I can't even imagine. I mean, you got little ones like the same age.
Yeah, I would.
They come home, and then that's what I can't even imagine what your
other parent was doing that.
Right.
Just,
your had to be incredible, and that had to be an incredible day when you get that envelope. Like, I can't even imagine your head. You know what can you? You had to be furious, or just not even understanding what's happening, I guess.
Hurt. It's hard for me to even, I want to cry right now just talking about it, because this is so hard, because my son is the one that loses the most in all this. He's going to grow up, and he's going to get older, and he's going to find a significant other someday, and they're going to go through baby pictures, okay, and pictures when he's a kid, and at some point his partner's going to say, "What the hell happened here? You were a girl named so-and-so, and now you're a boy. What happened in between?" How do you have that? Even kids at school, right? It's confusing. It's confusing for adults. I'm confused, and I'm a grown-ass man. To have a kid, one day you're somebody, and then the next day you're not. Of course they ask questions. That follows him for the rest of his life. It's not going anywhere.
some kids can just be so mean too. Like some kids can just be jerks.
Yeah.
And say nasty things.
Now he's turning 9, and like, how's it? I know I just want to ask, I've been dying to ask this question just because what's it like right now? He knows what he wants to be, doesn't he? He knows he wants to be a boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've always given him both options. I mean, there was a time when I was court ordered where I had to, he was going to a gender therapist for 1.5 years without a diagnosis of gender dysphoria. They didn't accept insurance. It was like $140 a session. It was all a cash grab. And he was in there waiting to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria so he could meet that DSM-5 criteria, like any other mental illness out there, by the way, which gender dysphoria is a mental illness, okay? It's diagnosed with DSM-5, just like, any other depression, anxiety, any other mental illness. And so they did watchful waiting is what they called it, where they kept him in there and they just watchfully waited, I guess, until they saw a sign. And then what that does is that fast tracks him on to medical intervention or progression, if you even want to call it that. But there were so many people along the way that failed this child and failed me, my family, other than the school. I mean, his mother won sole custody. I dragged this out, okay, for 7 years. I went all the way to Supreme Court to trial. I had a custodial assessment done and evaluation. This was all a hoax. There's nothing to support this. This child was not confused. This was mental illness imposed by another. Okay. Some people would call it Munchausen by proxy, but that's what it was. And combine that with what I would consider to be a social contagion, and you've got a recipe for indoctrination, is what it is.
Child needs to be with you. I mean, that's plain and simple. The child needs to be with the father. That's what I see.
And you're the leader of indoctrinatethis.org, right? You're the owner, what do you call it? The founder of this.org.
I started this organization to help raise awareness. I'm not in this for the money. I can't get my life back. My son, we're going to live with this for the rest of our lives. And the most that we can do is tell this experience, share the story, so that we can help other parents try to identify these signs and really just let these people know that, look, you don't know what you don't know. Okay, so you need to do your due diligence. I can help you. And we can identify these things that are red flags before they become serious issues.
Robin, do you have a question or a comment? Here, go ahead.
At what age do they deem him old enough to make the decision himself as far as wanting to be a boy?
Oh, well, there was a therapist by the name of Andrea Binner. Okay, and I have no problem naming her by name anytime. And what she did was she referred my son to a doctor named Dr. Tran. It's a real name.
Wow.
And Dr. Tran, over a 45-minute phone call, felt that my son had gender dysphoria. He never spoke to my son, he or she. I don't know if Dr. Tran is a he or she, whatever, it doesn't matter. They never spoke to my son. They spoke to the mother, and they went solely off of the word of the mother. And they recommended that the mother wait till he was about 8 for puberty blockers. Okay. They never even spoke to him. I never met him. They never spoke to me.
Wow.
I was the last thought. I was after the fact. And the reason why was because I believe it was said that I wouldn't be accepting of this, that I would be resistant, that I would be hesitant, that I was this, that I was that, right? These accusations, when really the orchestrator behind all this, these were meritless claims. They were lies. This is all built on a lie, okay? And everybody allowed it to happen.
Gail, go ahead.
Did the mother ever have a mental evaluation?
She did. I can't speak, though, to her mental health. What I can say is that I have no history of drug use. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I have no mental health issues. I have a job. I own my own house. I can't really speak on behalf of her. But I can say that in the forensic evaluation, it was said that I was the more fit parent, and that they recommended sole custody to me.
Yeah, I can tell that already.
And that was done by 2 independent doctors, one of which is a PhD, and the other is a professor at a college around here for psychology.
And right now, what does the visitation look like for you?
Yeah, visitation is Tuesday to Wednesday overnight, and every other Friday to Tuesday overnight. So I'm thankful for that, right? That's more than what a lot of divorced dads get. But I worry because the grooming's still there, right? He's still being exposed. Gay pride parades. She still doesn't refer to him by his name. She uses they, them pronouns. It's disgusting. I had to have her ordered not to refer to him by any name other than his birth name. And now all that's gone because I had a Supreme Court judge wipe that out, gave her sole medical decision-making power, gave her sole custody.
Wow.
Who was the judge, if you don't mind me asking, if you're allowed to say?
Judge Furlong, Justice Daniel Furlong.
Oh, okay.
So
I've
thank
heard
you
nothing
for that, Judge Furlong.
I've heard nothing but trash about Furlong. Like he is just, he shouldn't be a judge. He
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah, and the worst part is now I'm going, you know, I might have to pay her attorney fees for all this. I've been paying a portion of them along the way.
You were paying for all those appointments to try to label him gender dysphagia or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You had to pay for all $140 a pop. They court ordered him to pay to do exactly what you don't want to. It's insane.
Yeah, and a word to all these parents out there. Guess what happens if you refuse that, right? You're now refusing what somebody would deem as a crucial medical treatment for your child. You're interfering with the medical treatment of your child. That's how they frame it. So they get CPS involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, because you don't want to go along with this indoctrination of your child who's way too young to make a decision. The child is too young to determine where they want to live, but they're old enough to decide what gender they are, right? That's what we're saying here.
Right.
And they'll take your kids from you because you're denying them medical treatment. All it takes is one quack to go up and testify and say, oh, you know what, I think this child is confused about their gender, and we think that it's necessary that he go to gender counseling, you know, so that we can do, you know, this or that kind of approach. And if you're not cool with that, then see you later. You're going to get your access. You're going to get your visitation stripped away. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to you. They're going to make you look like a terrible person.
I feel they could probably even try to jail you. I wouldn't be surprised.
The courts are so disgusting and corrupt. I can't take it anymore. Like, I'm so sick of hearing all these stories of the courts and how disgusting and corrupt they are.
You had said that you had, because speaking out, you lost a job of yours.
I think that's why. I can't say that's why. I don't know if that's why. What I can say is that, you know, in the 9 years that I worked there, I never had any formal write-ups or anything like that.
Right.
I never had any issues, but I wasn't against. I had people that reported to me at that job, and they were also forcing this you know, gender nonconforming indoctrination BS down my throat, even at work, in the workplace. And I wouldn't do it, you know. And another thing too that probably didn't help was the vaccine. I wouldn't force my workers to get vaccinated. I'm not going to tell you what to put in your body. That's your choice.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm not going to make anyone do that.
Yeah,
so
you were really, yeah. You're public enemy number one.
Yeah. But, you know, there's certain things in life that I respect people. I respect their bodies. I don't, you know, my body, my choice shouldn't just apply to abortion. You can't just use that one way, right? And that's how I feel about it. And I respected, and I still do, people's decisions, and what they choose to do, or equally as important, what they choose not to do. That's their right. That's their God-given right.
Now you pretty much, right now, would you I don't know, how would you put it? Did you put it? You didn't really put an end to it, but you kind of did. Sort like, because you've stopped it somewhat, right? I mean, you'd say, because I guess in that, is your ex-wife, is there repercussions? Like, what I'm trying to say is, I think of and we've been down the road of divorce and stuff. You know, it gets kind of, sometimes one half gets petty and things start going on. Repercussions in any way?
Repercussions how? Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Like towards you from your ex-wife, or you know, like doing things like purposely to maybe antagonize or do anything at all?
I think this whole thing has been a test to my patience.
Yeah.
On all sides, to be completely honest with you, this is enough to drive a man crazy. And I'm a kind of cool as a cucumber in a lot of ways, and sometimes it's bad, right? Because you want to be passionate, but you need to know the line between passion and disrespect. And I'm so used to even just work having to remain that professional composure that I don't let myself get worked up a whole lot. And sometimes I think that maybe that that hurts me in some ways. But I try to stick to the facts and remain objective.
So what, because I'm gonna ask you a couple things. I want to give people an idea of what to look for and what you can do, because there are incredible stuff you talked about looking at your school's libraries. But right now, back to just the last thing that I have, and then you guys can ask too anything. Like where are we at right now, would you say? Your son is turning 9. Like what is going on? Like I guess like up to date, like right now, what's happening? Like he's going to school and you said there's still, how are they treating this?
No, I had I had the school ordered not to call him by anything other than his birth name. I put an end to this, right? And that's why I'm here to help. And thank you for allowing me to reach your audience, because I'm here to help them. Because I might have lost on paper, but I won where it matters. I got a son. He's my little boy. If I would have ignored this, if I would have let this go, if I didn't do the things that I did, which I'm going to help your audience in a bit and help them do the same things, if I didn't do all that, my son would be unrecognizable. He wouldn't even be the son that I had named him. He would be, only the Lord knows. I don't even want to think about it, where he would be. So if I have to sacrifice all of these things for that, if I have to lose on paper, I don't really care. That's the cost of doing business, I guess.
He's a regular little boy. Like he wants to play, whatever, whether it be sport, whatever, what little boys do. Correct? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. We played lacrosse. We played soccer today. We jumped on the trampoline. We did some fishing over the weekend. Father's Day, we roughed it out in the woods. Got his shirt off with his fishing pole.
Nice.
Loves it. Loves being a boy. And I'll tell you what, he's no fool. He's had to grow up because of this experience much faster than other children his age. And he despises what was done to him. He knows. He understands it. Because it happened to him. All I had to do was fight for him until he had a voice. And now he can fight on his own. He knows what he wants, and now he has a voice to say what he wants and what he doesn't want. And that's exactly what we need to teach our children, to stand up for what you believe in, be respectful, hear different viewpoints, hear different opinions, research as much as you can, right? And then make a decision based on that. It's the scientific method. That's what we need. That's what we need to teach our kids. And that's all that you have to do. But when this started, he didn't have a voice. So I had to be that, right. I had to be that opposition for him. But back to your original question, all of that stuff is stopped now. Really, I would say that the only grooming happens at home with his mom behind closed doors, because she knows that she can get away with it.
And at this point, he probably, I would assume, isn't going to have, it's got to be so hard. I feel bad because he's got to deal, it's his mother, but he's going to have to, eventually, it's going to be said. I mean, I don't want this. I don't want to be this. And I'm sure it might be hard for him to say it to his mother. I mean, because just think about that.
Yeah.
And when you think about, you've done a great job to put an end to it, and not ended up in jail or anything, because seriously, someone that isn't as cool, things could have got ugly, and it would have made sense. And I don't even know if I would have said that it was wrong, because I could see I'm losing my temper right now. Yeah. I can feel it. And
it's hard. It's hard because it's not just, she was the orchestrator, but there were so many people that could have helped, that were in a position to do something and make a difference. And I'm getting worked up thinking about it again, because all it took was one decent person, to say, hey, this isn't right. The whole system failed him.
Yeah.
It's despicable. It's a shame.
Let's do something here. Why don't we talk about what we can do as parents and grandparents and whatever to pay attention here? We're in Niagara County on this end, but our school districts, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen or ever happen?
First and foremost, the first thing that you can do, it's very simple. Go on your district, your child's school district website. Usually in there, you can either search, or it's under library, or one of those submenus, and look for the online card catalog for the library. This allows students to look up books in the library that might match their genre of interest. Okay. When you find that, type in LGBTQ, gender, things like that, things along that kind of nature behind it. gender dysphoria, even gay, lesbian, trans, right? Type those things in and see the books that come up. Because that's how I discovered that, this went much deeper than just my son with Kenton. Because when I did that, I had found books that were targeting K through 3 that were described as an easy to grasp picture book exploring sexism, sexual identity, and gender identity. That's targeting K through 3, right? And that was right there for anybody. And that book was actually checked out. There were a whole bunch of those books. So I actually, in one of the school board interviews, I went up there and I mentioned that, and I read the description to them, and the next day it was removed. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing is, when you talk to these school officials, right, they're going to try to say that we're a family, right? We're this, we're all one unit. No, we're not. Okay, you are a taxpayer funded educator. We are not family. And by muddying those lines, right, that's when they start to think that they know how to raise your child better than you do. And sometimes you got to remind them of that. But the second thing is to send a Freedom of Information law request. This is similar to a Freedom of Information Act request, only in New York State it's called Freedom of Information Law. If you go to indoctrinatethis.org, we have templates that you can use. You can basically fill in the blanks, put in your own information. They have to comply with these. They have to. They don't have a choice. And if they deny your request, they have to provide within so long why, and it has to be a reasonable denial. They have to tell you why, what you can do to make that request compliant, and then they have to give you more time. And by law, there's a maximum amount of time that they can respond. And when you use that FOIL request, you're going to start to uncover more and more policies. You're going to start digging deeper into the layers here, and that's how I got into the last school board speech that I gave on protecting women and women's sports, because there's policies that allow you to identify, men to identify as female and play in women's sports and Kenton and change in their locker room. And guess what happens? If you're a student, if you're a female and you're changing in a locker room and you see male genitalia in front of you, or even the opposite, right? It could be the other way. Then what happens is they'll make special accommodations for that student that has an issue with it. So what they've done, right, is they've marginalized the people that have a problem with it, and everybody else has to accept it as normal. That's what they've done with their policies.
And you're right. You said something before the show, right? It was like you start out what is it? It's like it goes from acceptance to we have to celebrate. How'd you say that? Say that again. That's
the 3-step plan for socialist takeover of America. It's tolerate, accept, and celebrate. First, you have to tolerate it, then you have to accept it as normal, and then you have to celebrate it. And this is the playbook for communist regimes all over the world. This has been done before in other countries, even Russia. Okay. Just in different ways. They did the same things, and guess what? The results were disastrous. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a means of control. I don't know what the end game in this is, but that's it. This is it, folks. Tolerate, accept, celebrate. That's a 3-step plan.
And the thing is, it's just, I don't know about the people out there, but it's kind of shocking because it's actually, I hadn't even thought of this. It's happening. It's going to happen here in Niagara Falls. We were just talking off the air. Because come the 28th downtown, we're going to have a drag show with unicorns for children to ride. Yep. So that's the celebration portion, I guess, of this.
So I would say instead of teaching your kids to tolerate, accept, celebrate, teach them to question, challenge, and expose. That's the only way we're going to win. Yeah. Question, challenge, expose. That's the only way.
So, Dennis, where we need to go is indoctrinatethis.org for anything we could need. You got templates there for FOIA requests of the school. And what else do you have there that could help a parent?
Yeah, just a lot of tips, talking points for parents. I've done school board speeches that I've given. I do a lot of expose, even like Project Veritas style stuff that's in the works with a lot of these gender affirming clinics there. especially targeting children with disabilities because they know that they're much higher to transition. There's a lot of them and you'll notice and pay attention to some of these commercials, or even just Google some of the gender affirming care clinics around in this area, and pay attention to the advertisements that they have on their page or their promotional materials, because they will actually feature children with disabilities like Down syndrome or autism, because they know that they're at least twice as likely to affirm and transition. So we have a lot of talking points for parents on there. We have the two things that you can do right now, right? Do the library first, check out your school library, search for those books, LGBTQ, gender as search terms, and then go to Indoctrinate This and get the Freedom of Information Law template and fill it out, because you have a right to know what's being taught in these schools and what their policies are. And if you wait till something happens and there's a victim, it's already too late. It's already too late. You can make meaningful change right now without anyone having to be victimized, and that's the goal. We know the facts. 88% of kids that experience gender dysphoria, they desist back to their original gender. 6% of them desist if they're socially transitioned. So what you have here is influence. It's influence, plain and simple.
All right, Dennis, we'll leave it at that. I kept you a lot longer than I had promised, and
thank you.
I'll be getting back to you though. I want to keep. We want to keep in touch, so we can maybe every so often I'll nag you to come on, and we can talk more. And even if we got to repeat, I don't even care, so we can get people to understand what's happening. Because I'm kind of blown away a little bit by it as I listen to it more.
It's a lot to take in all at once, and there's even so much more that I could share with you. But on Indoctrinate This, I'm going to be adding more. I work a regular job. I'm just doing this. I can't even say it's fun because it's disgusting.
Right.
It's not fun. I hate this. It takes a piece of my soul every time I have to do this. No offense, but I don't want to be here. I'm glad that you have me here. But there's other things in there. Talking points, how to speak to the school board, how to go figure out where the school board is. And then, of course, identifying indoctrination, which are some things that I put together firsthand to help other parents. Learn from me, please.
All right, Dennis. Well, we'll leave it at that, and I'll be getting in touch with you. And the other thing is, too, if you ever need us for anything, that you need a platform, you have one with us here. Anything you want, we can help. So, but I'll be getting in touch with you because I'm going to nag you to come back, because I don't want to drop this now, because it's kind of, like I said, I think I'm the one. I'm talking about myself. You hear, I really am. You see it on cable news networks, and it just feels like it's a million miles away. And here we are, right next door, and right here, I'm sure, right where I'm sitting. So
7 years ago, this was unheard of, and that's when my battle started.
Right.
So.
All right, Dennis, we'll let you go. Have a good night, and we'll be talking very soon.
Thank you. God bless. Take care.
Bye.
You too. Thank you. All right, so there's indoctrinatethis.org with Dennis Hannon. Wow, guys, what a
Crazy.
Geez.
Yep. Well, I feel so bad for him.
Because I was thinking like he's going to have to tell his mother.
Yeah.
And I'm probably sure it's already happening.
Sounds like his mother has a lot of issues.
That's why I asked if she had any kind of mental evaluations, because, if they're thinking that you can't have a child who's that age not be able to drink, not be able to vote, and everything else, but decide that they want to change their gender and not have to ask the parents, or, what I mean? The mother has to have something going on.
It seems like the mother wanted a girl, and that's why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
The kid's too little to decide for themselves.
I think sadly, and maybe it happens more with the divorce or whatever, but some of these women just hate men so much that when they have little boys, they turn them into girls.
Yeah.
And now it's okay. Now it's actually being
now we
wanted.
And that's
the fact that he said that they go towards kids with disabilities is really sad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Down syndrome and stuff. Wow.
How about the fact that he was saying how when they were I don't know if it was a psychiatrist or something like that was talking to him, they talked to him over the phone. They diagnosed him over the phone. Didn't even physically examine him, nothing, just over the phone.
Right.
Dr.
And
Tran.
he said,
Dr. Tran.
And he said he didn't even talk to the little boy, just talk to the mother.
Yeah. Sickening.
I mean, what
Doctor
can you get out of that?
And then the boy is making the decision. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a couple things here. I think we're going to go commercial free today. We already went over, so no commercials. Trisha says, whatever your beliefs are, please watch What is a Woman? It was on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Let's see what this is. And like Dennis, this is from Stacy. And like Dennis said, they're not even examining the patients, or you just said that too, or keeping medical records of these encounters. That's fraud.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is fraud. What is sad is there are actually people out there that think this is okay. Oh, no doubt. Enough to where the people that don't think it's okay are in jeopardy of losing their jobs or probably get jailed. I mean, there's a part that we didn't get to, where when he lost his job, he had to get unemployment. So he went back to the court because obviously he's making a hell of a lot less money for child support. They refused to lower it. So I'm sure they were probably trying to see if they could get him, not to pay. So that's a mess. So let's see if there's anything else, because I know I went through a lot. This is disgusting how they keep getting away with this crap. And heaven forbid, if we say anything, we're labeled transphobic. It's time to stand up to this mess.
Because you have to be politically correct at all times.
What's annoying is like, I have no problem with transgender people. I have no problem with any of that stuff. Like, if you want to be that, if that's what you want to be, whatever. I'm okay with it. I actually love watching the what do you call it? The shows, the drag shows and everything. I love it, but I don't agree with forcing a child to change their gender.
It's what?
It's like it's not okay.
I don't think a child is capable of making that decision regardless.
No.
It's even let alone being forced.
It's stuff they did. Think about it. This is like what they did in World War II.
Yeah.
To people. This is like, just crazy, like you know what I mean? Like Dr. Frankenstein stuff.
Yeah.
Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they did, basically? I mean,
Think
amazing.
about it.
Raise them to what they wanted them to be.
Chris says this is sick, wrong. We had to get a special education lawyer from Williamsville to sue the school district because of how they treated our autistic son a few years ago. Trisha says, I pray for the kids. We can't change the adults. That's true. That's actually really true. It's going to be them that change it if it's going to be changed.
Yeah.
Because we're all too far gone.
Right.
Go ahead.
There has to be laws now that they're off limits. Kids until they're of age, whatever that age is, that they're an adult. What is it? 21?
Yeah, they have to be
To drink.
21.
You gotta be 21 to drink.
Smoke, buy cigarettes.
They shouldn't even. Nobody should be around children even discussing anything like that.
My
My
son
opinion.
wanted to paint his nails one time. You don't see me forcing him to become
Right.
a girl. Like, are you
Right.
kidding me? Like, I know he's a boy. Like, never in a million years.
Right. No, because when little boys have sisters, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's just
it's just they're curious.
but it's not this. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
Who is? She says. Trisha says, look at who's Megan Fox.
Oh,
Who is
Megan
that?
Fox. Oh my god, I love her. She's an actress. She's a famous actress. I have to look into that. You said
What she's doing to boys.
what is a woman? So that what is a woman thing will explain what Megan Fox is doing, because I'm interested in that.
Well, it even says, like, for brain development, your amygdala, your hippocampus, it the age where they were trying to talk to this kid, it's not developed yet.
She just said it's 25, just in the message board. Yeah.
It's not even, something that a child can make decisions yet. Their brain isn't developed
Right.
at that age.
Right.
If this is going on there, I mean, it's like one of those things, like, we deal with the rapists and all that. We know they didn't just rape one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like this is going on. It's going on it's probably right. It is. It would be right here. If you have to go to your school districts, that's a really good idea, card catalog online, and type in and see what kind of books you have. He said those are K through third grade books. Were the ones.
Yeah, those aren't the kind of books that I would want my grandkids to have access to.
Right.
And being taught somehow.
Right.
If there's a teacher out there that must be, because they're not going to pick them up themselves. Like, you know what I mean? There's someone.
People who put the books out, they know that the brains aren't fully developed, and they're trying to twist them.
Indoctrinate.
Yep.
They're twisting their brains and trying to make them believe that this is, the way it should be.
Here's another thing we're gonna have to keep it on, because this is insane. There's got to be more.
Yeah.
There's got to be. Now think about it too. This is sad, and I'm sure they go this way. It seems as though Dennis had some means. He was a vice president of a bank, so he had some means for him. Can you imagine when it's somebody who doesn't,
Right.
like where you
That's what I was
can't
thinking.
fight and you're kind of, you know,
Well, even when you said that when he lost his job, they wouldn't adjust his child support, most people wouldn't be able to overcome
right.
that.
and then you go,
like,
and then you go to jail.
right, that's what I mean.
That's what they want. Yeah,
That's what they want. But luckily,
lucky he didn't do it.
he had the means not to. But
could-
most people don't.
You're probably gonna end up having to someday set up, and this is gonna like a foundation, almost something to help parents. Because you're right.
Yeah.
Because the parent that works at a factory or whatever, they're done.
Right.
They can't continue this fight,
No.
and it's just gonna go. And then that's when, and I hate to say it, but that's when then there's that person ends up being criminal, because now you're gonna do other things
Right.
to make sure it stops, and then you end up in jail, and then they win.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's disgusting. I really.
Yeah.
So that was Dennis Hannon. We'll definitely bring him back. Indoctrinatethis.org. So check it out for all of your school districts. You should. You really should, because we don't know what's going on anymore. It's a hell of a lot different.
Ask him if he'll be on here.
Yeah.
Straight out with this shit in their school.
The Kenton district, they wouldn't even.
They were a model.
Yeah, and look at them.
For middle school and all them.
Yeah.
They were model schools for the longest time. They used to bring us there to.
And now they're a model probably for this. To
They're modeling too much.
yeah, indoctrination. Wow.
That's criminal in my mind. That's all criminal. People should be arrested. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because the little boy's got to now. Here's what I was thinking, and this is sad. You said it about kids are mean.
Yeah.
They're miserable. So this little boy's got to go back. At one point they're doing one thing, now another. I can't even imagine. Kids are rotten.
He'll get picked on the rest of his life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's terrible. All right. So like I said, that's Dennis Hannon. We'll keep in touch with him a lot and see what's going on here monthly, I think, and just see what's up. I'd like to bring him on because he's pretty smart and he's got a lot of things. All right. Why don't we, before we hit to our letter writing campaign, didn't you see something?
I did. I don't know if anybody else, I'm sure other people got this in their mailbox. It was a little post flyer of Glenn Shalokian, who's running for Niagara Falls mayor. And obviously the Mayor Steino, sees him as a threat because he was writing on there. Now, this is definitely done by the mayor. On the flyer, it says, a record of mismanagement. We cannot trust Shalokian with our tax dollars again. Truth is, we cannot afford Glenn Shalokian. He used Glenn's city council record to try and make him look bad. It was just really pathetic. It really was. So people like me, I didn't appreciate getting that in my mailbox. I thought that was just ridiculous and stupid and childish. So that just kind of lets you know, make sure when you vote, if you go to vote for mayor, don't vote for Mayor Steino because he's very childish.
Did you? And I bet you that was paid for. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh,
By
yeah, that's something Nick
even
D'Angelo
the
would do.
Democratic Party.
That's
probably,
like such a Nick D'Angelo move. Remember when he was doing all
Dirty.
the shit for Faso and
Yeah.
all that back then? They probably had Nick D'Angelo.
I seen Glenn fighting back the other day. I saw he did a video about your water bills and stuff, and all that. And, this is such a it's just like a silly season. It's a stupid time. It's terrible. You drive by the train station where we live at early voting. There's 9 billion signs that people are just, and if you can see, they're just like moving them ahead of each other because they want to be in front of the other sign. They should go to hell. And I really hate those signs. I wish I could stop them, but I'm not allowed.
And we were talking about this on the way here. Who the hell goes to early vote and thinks like, oh shit, there's a sign. I think I'm going to vote for that person. Like,
right.
They already know what they're doing.
Yeah, stop it. Stop the
signs.
It's just all nonsense.
You're not allowed to stop them either. Cleveland tried it, and then they got deemed unconstitutional, where they weren't going to allow them anymore. But it's your stupid. It's just they're so disgusting. Like I said, there's got to be 40 of them in this little median, little thing, and they're the big wooden ones. Are huge. They're all over.
We had the ones with big things of wood.
That's out of the mayor's playbook. Exactly. They did the exact same thing. I saw the same sign. I saw signs there were the ones from 1996. We're right there.
Well, that's because, and they say we're Steino for judge, assembly, mayor.
Yeah, you just rip it off.
Just Velcro it for asshole for.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, it could be for anything.
Yeah.
So anyways, the
Just
election.
Velcro the
You
office
can
on. Come on.
you can vote now. Early voting at the train station.
And that shouldn't be allowed. It should not be allowed. That's just their way of being able to manipulate what comes in.
Oh, the early voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a day, you go. You can't go, you don't get a vote.
That's what it used to be.
Yeah. And it worked just fine. Now there's so much corruption,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, the last election here for mayor got called at 9:01. You remember how
Yes.
fast?
Mm-hmm.
He was elected in 35 seconds. The
Yes.
polls closed. Boom. There he is. He's the
Because
winner.
we
We were
were
at
Glenn's
Sping. Yes.
after party and
And it
Glenn
was over in
knew-
35 seconds. Yeah.
Glenn knew like the music went on. And
Yep. 35
It's
seconds
just like the
after.
race for judge. Janelle knew and was saying she won before votes were even
Even
counted. Janelle was saying she won for judge.
Well, they knew it was in the bag for them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'll tell you. It's really, they call it your First Amendment. I don't know. I think they could do something to strike it down, because all you're doing is trying to manipulate the people, and it's just, and
By the
it's
way,
annoying.
if Janelle is watching this, why'd you sneak out of Kelly's? You should have went back in and finished your drinks.
Yeah.
Why'd you sneak out? Why'd you run away?
She'll be back later.
Yeah.
she probably went in the bathroom to do a line.
Yeah. Closing lines. Yeah.
This is like,
She's gotta prove that she doesn't do it.
I can't even do this now.
Yeah, drug test.
I can't even
Yeah.
use this.
Take a
The
drug
views
test.
expressed are by the guests.
I'm
And
against
yeah, but then
I'm
yeah,
against
it's,
the middle doubtful
it's
house.
double jeopardy though.
Speak
Because-
away.
Yeah, right. Let's not forget one other thing, very important, is our
Yeah.
writing campaign.
Yes.
There it is, because the rapist, I can call him that, right?
Yeah,
I could have called him that a long
You could've
time
called
ago,
him,
even, yeah. And when I did and got
Yeah.
sued,
You-
I was allowed.
Yeah. They
The,
proved it.
the rapist, Nick D'Angelo, on July 6th is going to be, I guess, sentenced.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's already sentenced in my eyes.
he is.
Right.
He got what he got, and I actually think that they already know what, the
I
judge already
guess.
knows. I don't know why they dragged it out this long.
That
Just
is
'cause
weird,
They,
yeah.
love
They can have more
dragging,
time.
they love dragging it out
They
there.
want to enjoy the summer.
Yeah, they wanted him to have more
It
time.
gives him
do
time to
whatever
move
the
his
hell he
money
wants.
around too, I
Yes,
bet, and do some things,
Yeah.
give the Niagara action to who he needs to give it to.
Well, this is why we want him a level 3 sex offender, because this is it right here. Level 1 is a low risk of repeat offense. That's not true. He is a huge risk. Level 2, moderate risk of repeat offense. Level 3, high risk of repeat offense and a threat to public safety exists. So that's why he needs to be level 3, because he is a huge risk. He's a
already done
repeat.
it.
He's a repeat
Over and
offender.
over.
He is constantly offending.
But
and
are they
being-
going to be able to use that? Because when it happened, he was 17. They
Well,
had sealed
they
his
said that they were
records.
going, that they were going to be able to use it. That's why.
Yeah, so now I guess they unsealed.
Right.
Is the judge going to do it? Is she going to look back?
No. She was very, very. You guys should have seen.
How friendly.
Oh yeah, how she
Yeah.
was just so about his feelings. Like
No, he raped. So he gets. That was how many? 4 in this? 4. It was 4 women involved, or 3
if you include me for, but
with that right now.
actually, if
More
you wanna
than
know,
4,
there's
yeah. But I'm saying, like,
a
in
lot.
this case, it's 3, right?
Three.
Yeah,
So that's not 1. That's 2. That's 3. We know about
including
the.
a child.
a chi-
One of
yeah.
them is a child.
We got the ones that got magically thrown away. Yeah.
You're the one that got thrown away.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There was a couple,
Oh,
3.
yeah.
So think about. So I think level 3 is where
Yeah.
he needs to be.
And plus, if he's level 3, that means he can't get another good high-paying job. We don't want him having another good job with a good position. We don't want that.
And the influence, the influence and the power that lets him prey on vulnerable
he
people, we
works-
need to take that away from
If he
him.
works at Burger King, he's going to
He's
Yeah.
gonna rape somebody.
Yeah, they don't.
Somebody
These
said that he
people don't
worked
get
at
it.
a Starbucks with him, like what during college, and they said he was a disgusting pig.
Creep,
Even
yeah.
there, that they had to actually move him to a different location because he was being such a pig at that location.
And they just.
Starbucks.
Yeah, at a college.
He's up to 239,000 followers. Wow.
He's amazing.
So, and once again, I want to remind everybody,
Right.
Nick D'Angelo is still in control of the Niagara Action page and the Action 716 and the Crime Niagara Falls. he is still, I know there's a girl, Nicolette, on there saying that she owns it now, but Nicolette is Nick D'Angelo's ex-girlfriend and they share a child together. It's not his child. It's not his biological child, but he has custody of her child. So
it's obvious.
Yeah, that's why he chose her to do all this, so he can still have control of the page. If you see the posts, he's still posting the same stuff that he's been posting before. It's all the same shit. So unless they're going to talk about him on the Niagara Action page, it's still ran by him.
We are at 3,200.
Yeah, we didn't even have to buy it. Oh
Yep.
yeah, he emailed Bill last week, sent another crazy email.
He did.
He also got a brand new car.
What did he? Oh wow, it's like
He's
Price is
driving
Right.
around.
Yeah.
That's
That's what he should do.
Yeah.
The car, a brand new car.
Yeah.
Just give it to him. He come running on down.
Yeah.
What
You can play play card.
Well, you could play the game. They could like how level 1, 2, or 3. What do you
Yeah,
gotta pick?
with the play card.
Yeah, right. Or you could pick. You bid 1.
Just like Scott said, he should be there.
What
Should be
is-
a level 4 for something.
What is going on with Bill? What is this?
Oh, I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
They Nick D'Angelo sent like an email to him, like.
And it's,
Have you heard about the emails that he sent him before?
they're kind of. He's trying to send like.
Random ass emails, like trying to like scare him and
Okay. Yeah.
like I don't know, just being an idiot. So he sent him another one.
Wow. Now there he is, and I'm sure he's going to be just a great on probation.
Oh yeah,
He's already.
and nobody's gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
He's going to easily violate probation, and
Oh, that'll be allowed. That's okay. They shouldn't even bother. That's
No,
the
they
thing
really
that
shouldn't.
bothers me. So that's what we want to do. We want to write letters to see if there's any way that this judge will have,
some common sense and do the right thing.
one last shot. And even this is not enough, but at
Yeah.
least it'd be something.
And if anybody wants me to write a letter for them and they want to put their name to it, I'll gladly help out and write letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
Yep. And you could just easily say,
Like John said too, like it doesn't have to be a long ass letter. It could just be a quick sentence. Like,
Right.
Just make Nicholas D'Angelo level 3 sex offender.
That's all. That's all you need to do.
yep, he's a horrible rapist. Make him a level 3 sex offender because we know he's going to do it again.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, I don't understand, and we talk about this a lot. The system is made in such a way to protect him because we can't look back.
Right.
They stop us from looking back. They stop us from doing anything. Because you know what? There's this thing. You just said the thing about Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
If that's real, that's something they should know.
Yeah.
Someone should step forward and say, you know what? This guy's been been doing this since he
No
was
matter
in
where he goes.
college.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's always,
They said he was a pig in college and school, even in class, he was a pig.
we don't want to know that though. They want to, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to know. Why
Right.
wouldn't you want
They
to know?
shield him so much.
I want to know why he was running around being a pig everywhere and nobody ever called him out on it or did anything about it.
Yeah.
Just move him around.
Or
Yeah,
kids,
but-
did they hide it?
Well, they moved him, but so what? They moved him so he could
So he could be a
harass.
pig somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
so
do
he could
somewhere else.
assault and rape other people.
And here's
at
the
a
thing, it's
different
not
store.
just women either, so you can't even
Yeah.
keep him just away. He needs to be, I'm not really concerned. I don't even know what he could do for a living. I could care less. I mean, it don't matter to me. I mean, maybe he could work in a graveyard or something, digging or cutting. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But I don't care. Like, no one should care.
Right.
But they do care.
His financial situation.
The judge cares.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. That's in their mind.
All right.
What's he going to do when he gets out?
Yeah.
Because we took his law. You know it.
Yeah,
I know it.
So I just want to read this really quick. There's a point system that's used in the courts when they make the determination of what level of a sex offender you are. And 110 points makes you a level 3 sex offender. You get 10 points for the use of forcible compulsion. 10. 15 points for causing physical injury. 30 points if the offender was armed with a dangerous instrument. 5 points for sexual conduct over clothing. 10 points for sexual conduct under clothing.
This is bullshit.
25 points for intercourse, oral, anal contact, aggravated
Who the
sexual abuse. 20 more points if there were 2 victims. 30 points if there were 3 or more victims. 20 points if the offender engaged in a continuing course of sexual misconduct. 20 points if the victim was age 11 to 16. 30 points if the victim was age 10 or under or 63 or older. And 20 points if mental incapacity or physical issues made the victim helpless. 20 points if the victim was a stranger. If the relationship with the victim was initiated for purposes of victimization, or if the relationship was a professional one and the offender abused his power. 20 points if the offender committed a sex offense at age 20 or under. So if you add up any of the things that you would think that Nick did, if he got 110 points or more, then he should be a level 3 sex offender.
The hell made that chart?
I know.
Who was the sicko that knew that what should be? Who decided that it was only 20 points if you're under the clothes or what?
Yeah.
What? This is insanity. That's the problem. There it is. That stupid thing right there is the problem. That
an
point
offender
system.
is an offender. Like
What?
a rapist is a rapist. They're all sick. It doesn't matter what one did or the other.
I'm glad you found that.
Gross.
I'm glad Gail found that. That is that is unbelievable.
110
Someone
was his
sat there and
Nick's got to have like 400.
He gets
But then it's
400,
only-
he gets 400 off because
it's only going to be though for what he's convicted on, which is none of it.
No, he
is
is
gonna be-
completed the violence.
Yeah, so he's good.
So if anybody wants to go to sentencing, it's July 6th at 2:00 p.m. at the Niagara County Courthouse in Lockport. And we'll get.
Conjugal visit.
But think about this. I'm really losing my mind. Who does that? Like, as if it's a chart, like we're doing, like advanced scouting or advanced stats in hockey. Who's the sicko that sat there and said, that's 30.
I added up what I think from when I got 145 for him.
Yeah.
So even if you took away a few, if I
Right.
was wrong, he's still way above the 110.
This is
Right.
disgusting. How the hell do you have a thing like this? Is craziness.
That's the point system right there.
Wow.
So
So then all right, here you go. If I get arrested for molesting a child, okay, I may not hit the 100.
Right.
Pending.
Right.
Isn't it sick?
Yeah.
That thing is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
That chart
Right.
is the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen.
I think about that, and I think about the rapist with me
Uh-huh.
who admitted that he raped me at the age of 12. I don't think he would get.
No, he would not be. He wouldn't hit 100.
I don't.
They
yeah.
make it almost impossible.
Yeah.
So level 1 is 70 points or less. A level 2 is between 70 and 110. And a level 3 sex offender has to earn more than 110.
There shouldn't even be
points.
levels, to be honest.
No,
This
this is-
fucking sex
A
offenders.
sex offender is
Like,
going to reoffend. I don't care.
They're all gonna read
Yeah.
that. None of them are.
If you're a level 1, you're just going to become a level 2.
Who
and
is
then a
it
level
that
3.
says, no, wait a minute. They're talking about all these different types of sex acts and things that are going on. Who are they to say
Yeah.
what it
Right.
does to, did some woman who did that? Had to be I guess it'd be the state senate or the assembly. That's insane. That tells me he's not, that he can't. It
Yeah.
won't be level 3 then. Because what they ended up convicting him on,
They made sure he fled to the nonviolent one.
yeah, they took it all away.
They did.
That chart is crap. I've
Doesn't
never
matter
seen
that
anything
he
like.
actually committed more crimes.
That's a point system for New York.
And
Wow.
that's why the plea deal is complete bullshit. That's why he went for the
He
plea deal.
won.
That's why he said okay to the plea deal, because it was in his favor. It was
The only thing he's got to do is stay 4 months away. After that, it's going to be free sailing.
he's not going to do the full
the
6
comments I heard on the golf course today, hey, well, they got him for being a lawyer though, anyway. At least
That
they got him
doesn't
for
even
being,
matter.
and then I chimed in. It's not gonna hurt him at all because the people that got him the job in the first place will get him another job. And then maybe not as a lawyer, but a lucrative job, I'm
He'll be
sure,
fine.
because he's that well protected.
Niagara County will take
He
care
is
of
Well,
it.
if anybody wants to take a
Child
drive by his house, he lives on 9354 River Shore Drive on Cuba Island. He's got a new gray vehicle, gray SUV.
How does that happen? right?
Yeah,
Well, he had to get rid of his white one because everybody knew what it was.
I'm going to make sure
Yeah.
everybody knows his gray one. Too.
You know,
He wants to send cars in front of my house.
I know the guy next door to him. I should drive over there.
can't
Talk to that guy.
freaking believe this
Take pictures
this
of the
this
car.
this system of points. That's messed up.
I just looked it up.
Wow. That is so messed up because there's people that you are making it so it can't be attained. You can't even get there.
But it's in her discretion
Wow.
now, what she wants to decide or what not
Well,
to decide, right?
Yeah, I
Say
guess she
have to
could.
Follow the point.
She has to be fair and blah, blah, blah.
But it's up to her. what
She's
she
no
wants
better
to
than her.
pick.
She can do what she wants.
She's
She's
terrible.
right. She's no better.
She's no
Lynn Reed out there, the whole bunch of them.
She's
are
just as
terrible.
bad as
Lynn
Caroline
Rita-
Watazik
Lynn
was.
Rita failed. He 100%
Horrible.
real. She's disgusting.
Yeah.
I would never in a million years want her working
She
on
knew
my-
level D. They had, not only that, don't forget now, they didn't have that trial when they said they would. They
Yeah.
did it way before, so we wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Okay, nice job, Lynn.
So we got that on July 6th is his sentencing, right? And we will do probably a live stream.
Yeah.
I'll be outside, waiting for reaction as to what happened. And then we need to write letters. If you guys want, let's just see what she does with these letters. She may do nothing. Throw them out. I don't know. But at least we did it and
Worth
see what
a
happens.
try.
Yeah.
I have no confidence.
And
No,
like Gail
no,
has
no.
said a million times, a couple letters isn't going to make a difference. A bunch of letters is going to could make a difference. So write letters, please.
Yes, please.
And let's not forget Dennis Hannon, who was on
Yeah.
indoctrinatethis.org, as we heard about his child they're trying to change him from a
Fine,
little boy. Dennis. That's all right. But we'll bring him back on again. And oh, for God's sake! Oh no. Let's
Sorry, Fred.
right before we go. Let's do this. Robin, the YWCA is really great for
Yes.
people that we were just talking about people being sexually abused and hurt. They were great to you. Remember?
They were counselors that will counsel you by phone at home. They can get you involved in support groups with other survivors if you're interested in that type of thing. They have advocates that will go with you anywhere that might be stressful, police station, court, that type of thing. There's no charge for any of it. They're, easily available. I would definitely recommend them. They were amazing.
Yeah, they were incredible. And if you're the loved one of someone who's been hurt, and you can't understand what they're going through, give them a call. They'll help you understand. Noelle, can you do something? Because I don't have it, but we didn't do our commercials, but 988.
988. That number helped save somebody I know really well. It helped save their life. So if you're going through something and you feel like you want to end your life or you feel like you're worth living anymore, call that number. They will help you. They will talk you through everything.
Yeah, please. 988. It's there 24 hours.
Actually, I know a few people who have used that number and say,
Yeah, that's great. 988. So easy now. So don't
Yeah.
do anything maybe before you call or do something because it's probably not worth it, right?
No.
It's probably all right. We should probably go. Who knows what you got going on here in the backyard shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I should really
they
live stream, but we got Yeah, we could then show it next week or something. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go home. Well, we'll be back at some point for another thing, and then that's it. Noelle, you got anything left? Oh, check your page for
Yes,
everything,
check my
please.
page. And if you ever need that address again, it's always on my page. It's on Mom's page,
Citizens.
not Citizens United. I mean, we're constantly sharing that. So if you need the address to write to judge, it's there.
And anything else, like do you need a platform? You're being abused in any way? Yes, I'll send you the YouTube link as soon as we're done. It's going to give me about an hour, Stacy. And what I'm saying is if you're out there and you need a platform to talk, we're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I found Dennis. We talked. It's anything, anywhere you're being, especially in the court system, because
Yeah.
it's such a mess. And and Stacy's unbelievable. By the
She
way.
really is.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I literally refer her to everybody.
I do too. I'm sorry. I know. She's being overwhelmed, but I know she's the first name that comes out when I hear about court.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
She's such a fighter, and
Oh my God.
amazing. You have somebody who sticks up for what's right, like that. Then you have people like Lynn Rita.
Yeah.
Okay, they
Getting
no
paid.
sign, and they're getting money. It's a scam.
Yeah, it really is.
Lindy Korn's another one.
Another one.
Yeah.
She's another one. She's disgusting.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. And like I said, always keep an eye on Noelle's page and Citizens United. And we got TikTok and
Thank
Twitter.
you.
Take care, everybody.